Are Sleep Token overrated?
With Sleep Token, I strongly believe that band was, I think the record industry was like, oh my God, they couldn't believe how quickly Ghost rose to ascension. All the ingredients that make up Ghost were so original for metal. I think they were desperately looking for another band with that occult touch to it. So get some people in masks with a symbol on and hey presto, there you go.
When you say, are they overrated? Overrated by who?
Well, this is part of the thing. And already I've mentioned this on Primordial, the podcast, and I've already had two people, Dr. Kaza and Scouse John, already just in the comments saying, yes, they are overrated. Who's doing the rating? Now, this is the thing. Before we dive into it, let's get a little bit of background, shall we? So, Sleep Token, they debuted in 2016, all the way back then. It was a different time. It was a different world. It was a different everything. It was longer ago than you think. 9 years. You think, oh, Sleep Token have just come out there, this new band. But no, it was 9 years ago that they made their debut. With 2 EPs released before they ended up releasing their debut album, Sundowning, back in 2019. With their second album, This Place Will Become Your Tomb, 2 years later. And Take Me Back to Eden, a further 2 years on from that. The thing about Sleep Token, as I'm sure you know, the band members are unknown. For the purposes of this conversation, we're going to ignore the doxing that happened with somebody releasing birth certificates and whatnot online. That's just crazy fan stuff, so that didn't happen. The band members are unknown. No one knows who they are, and to date, so from 2016 when the band debuted, in 9 years, they have done 2 interviews. Precisely 2. So it's not like Sleep Token are exactly overhyping themselves.
Oh, I think that's you're kind of just answering your own question there. Because, are they overhyped is basically the same question of do you like them? Because if you think, yes, they're overhyped, you probably aren't a fan. If you think that, no way, man, they deserve everything they get, you're a fan. Do you know what I mean? So I mean, it'll be a subjective question, really. It's not like, but what you talked about 2 interviews. You think of the traditional way, and I think when you and I talk about an overhyped band, we're talking about an industry. The industry gets behind the band and is desperate for them to succeed. Desperate for them to succeed. We talked about this earlier. Was it?
So examples of artists who have been overhyped by the industry. Now, you may not see this unless you're part of the industry, unless you're in it. So back in the day, Andrew WK. Before Andrew WK first came out, you may remember that PR image of him with the dark hair with the blood running down from his nose. That image was everywhere. It was hugely hyped. That image was banned. It was discussed. It was banned by certain media outlets for glorifying drugs, which it turns out it definitely was not. But it was hugely hyped. And then when his music actually came out, it was received as kind of, oh, that's all right. That was industry hype gone crazy. King 810, King 810, another example of a band. They had such a strong image, and their first couple of songs, like I think it was Fat Around the Heart, it was hugely hyped. And I know many people in the industry backed them to absolutely blow up and be huge, which just didn't happen. I'm not dissing these bands, by the way. All I'm saying is that they were hyped up by the industry to such a level that they could never have kind of achieved the aim set by the hype. Same as like Chinese Democracy from Guns N' Roses. Lonely the Brave was
that's it,
a band who the industry was really hyping up to the extent that they could never have achieved what the hype said they were going to achieve. No. And so, which is where industry hype can be, it's a double-edged sword. Yes, it gets your name out. Yes, it gets people talking about you. But at the same time, then, you've got to kind of achieve those lofty goals that the hype said you're going to do.
The hype comes from the businesses that peddle, that is peddling the hype. Because if your business is classic rock, you want Lonely the Brave we need that next headliner. We need them. So you almost get yourself in a position where you force it. You force it on people because they have all the qualities, and you want the scene to succeed. I don't think they're evil. They just want them to hit those heights, and everybody pins all their hopes on them because there's not as many as there used to be. But I think what you've just said is the complete reversal for Sleep Token.
Yes.
When they sold out Wembley in the blink of an eye, the industry went, what?
Yes.
That point, it wasn't the industry going, oh yeah, these are the best. The whole industry went, wow, what?
Oh.
They sold out Wembley in 5 minutes or whatever it was. That was like a moment like, what? Nobody really appreciated, because it was the groundswell that got them there. That's the hype is the actual, people are digging them, and
Yes.
people dig them and connect with them and love them. That's what's fueling this fire. 100%.
Which is exactly the point. So with industry bands that the industry is proper pushing, we recently spoke with Dani Filth. The interview with Dani Filth is live on our YouTube right now. And Dani Filth is of the opinion that Sleep Token are an industry thing.
With Sleep Token, I strongly believe that band was, I think the record industry was like, Ghost, oh my God, they couldn't believe how quickly Ghost rose to ascension. And all the ingredients that make up Ghost were so original for metal. I think they were desperately looking for another band with that occult touch to it. So get some people in masks with a symbol on and hey presto, there you go. I mean, I don't dislike them. I actually think some of their songs are good. But I just think it's more an industry thing. And I'm always skeptical of industry driven bands. After Slipknot, how many bands were pushed? After Cold Chamber, how many bands came out that sounded like them? It's the same. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's what happens. You open an e-cigarette shop, there'll be another two next to it next day. It's just the way of the world. I just find sometimes it's a little contrived.
But here's the thing. Sleep Token have, they've made a name for themselves. Especially, you see some of the videos going around of their earlier gigs. They've always been incredibly enigmatic, had an incredible image, an incredible story, a lore behind them, which is a masterpiece of storytelling, a masterpiece of creation, of just to make some interest, like you had with Slipknot when they first came out. Who are they? What are they? But then Sleep Token, by playing shows and appealing to people and this incredible image, and I genuinely can't think of when metal was last sexy. And The Summoning did that. And completely organically, as far as I'm aware, there may have been some huge campaign behind the scenes that I'm not aware of. There's a caveat there. We are not party to any promotional campaigns that have been running behind the scenes. But it seems like fairly organically, The Summoning just went absolutely huge.
But I think this goes back to the content, to the actual product. The authenticity. That do you relate to it? And so you can have all the industry hyping whatever they want. They can hype, but if the band doesn't connect with you, it doesn't matter how excited anybody else is. If it doesn't connect with you, it's game over. You're not going to connect with it. That's how it is. That's how it works. And so you can think, it's like, why does a piece of content online go viral? Because everybody's doing that, but one of them cuts through. There is some relatability or connection that you have with that, for whatever that is. Music is the same. Any hook or gimmick or whatever, or anonymity or lack of press, whatever, if the product isn't there, that won't make a difference. It'll get them noticed, but then people go, meh, and move on. They will.
Yeah.
It's the quality of the music. Okay, I don't know if that. I guess their whole approach, everything's a construct. They had an idea. Everything around us has originally started with an idea, so we're going to do it this way. And the fact that they haven't done press, they weren't plastered all over the place by the industry, and did it. If you want to get, and if you're being noticed because simple numbers online are not lying, these are real, genuine people who are connecting with this. There's your answer. They're not overhyped at all. People may not like them. That's fair enough. That's like any band.
Fine.
That's fine. And you may think, oh, well, they don't deserve the hype because I don't like them and I don't think that their music is any good. That too is fine. That's your opinion. But there is clearly, regardless of what any industry reviewer, critic, whatever says, you are connecting with it and you are liking it and you are following it and you're falling in love with it. You fell in love with it, so no is the short answer. They are not.
Sleep Token now at time of speaking in March 2025. Their latest track, Emergence, which is the first track taken from the new album that's going to be with us a little later on this year. So Emergence has 2.2 million streams on YouTube. It has, I think, around 10 million streams on Spotify. That's in 5 days, which is pretty darn good going. In total, the band have over 100 million YouTube streams in the last 2 years alone. And in total, they have over 1 billion Spotify streams. It's just unheard of. They sold out Wembley in, I think it was about 7 minutes.
Something crazy like that.
You know,
that was the moment for me. It was like, wow,
yeah,
really?
Sleep Token had
Really?
arrived. And it's not industry hype. It's people seeing them. And yes, you could say, oh, it's because of modern social media. It's because they went viral on TikTok. Everybody wants to get involved and see this. And yes, that's part of it. It's called promotional material. It's called promo. That's how it works.
Well, we saw it actually work in practice because Sleep Token, when they just after off the back of selling out Wembley, there were other arena dates where a local promoter had an opportunity to be involved, which was quickly elbowed out by the big promoter. The big promoter very quickly went, nope, this is mine. And the local promoter was out.
Yeah.
Gone. Whereas 3 weeks before, they were the one that was organizing it and planning it and da-da-da-da-da. But the second that, oh my goodness, they're making money, whoo, in the
Yeah.
So that was industry was late on that. So there's no way industries can take any credit for that.
Ultimately, the question as to whether Sleep Token are overrated or not is entirely subjective.
Who is doing the rating?
Who is doing the rating
Exactly.
and who is doing the deciding on whether they are overrated or not? You may think that they are the greatest thing, not only since sliced bread, since bread. You might think that they are the greatest thing ever. You might think that they are entirely rubbish. And whichever it is that you think, you're absolutely right, because that's your reality.
Your opinion.
Perception is reality, and that's what matters to you. The rest of us may not agree with it, but ultimately, that's what matters to you. So as to whether Sleep Token are overrated or not, personally, I would go absolutely not. Are they overhyped? Since they've done 2 interviews in 9 years, and the rest of it has just been promo on social media, creating stuff, the hype is nothing to do with them. And in the modern day and age, we have seen that Sleep Token have gone viral. Sleep Token have done numbers. And so you can't blame media outlets, as they have always done throughout history. Go where the numbers are. Go often. So are they overhyped? No. This is what the media industry does. I would say they're neither overrated nor overhyped, but they are incredible. And the new album, even in Arcadia, I cannot wait for that album. And I don't think I'm alone with that.
I'm pretty sure you're not alone.
Primordial Radio.